Brett Okamoto with light heavyweight title challenger Anthony Smith, who takes on Jon Jones, UFC 235 this weekend in Las Vegas, in this very building that we're at. Just came back from New York, which I understand your first trip to New York City, right? How did that go?
New York was awesome. I had a lot of fun. The city has like a heartbeat, you know, like people are bustling around and it's dirty and everyone's got somewhere to be and like the architecture was cool. I seen the Statue of Liberty. I mean, it was really cool. I had a good time.
How are you coming into this week? Are you one of those guys who, I want to soak this in, this is something that I've been working for my whole life, or are you tunnel vision, narrow-minded focused to this week?
I think it's a little bit of both. You know, me and Mark Montoya talked a lot about enjoying the process and really taking it in and just enjoying it, because after I beat Jon, we're going to look back and think, oh man, that was it. You know, like we were so focused on the task at hand that we didn't enjoy the things around us. I don't want to do that. So I'm enjoying it for sure, but I'm definitely laser focused.
Can you give us an idea of how long you've pictured a moment like this? Like how early in life was Anthony Smith thinking about the UFC title fight?
From the time I took my very first fight as an amateur, which is so crazy to think about from where I came from, you know what I mean? Like fighting in crazy small auditoriums with like 18 people in there, you know, like it's nuts. But I've thought about it every single day since day one.
When you pictured it, what kind of things did you envision?
You know, I guess the sport was different back then. You know, I just wanted a title. That's all I really thought about. I wanted that belt wrapped around my waist, and I wanted everyone in the world to know that I was the best. And that's the basics of what this has all been about. I mean, the media attention and the fans and the money and all the cool things that come along with that. I never really thought about that stuff. That wasn't even a part of it. Like when I started, I didn't even know that I was capable of making a living doing this when I started. It was just, I just loved doing it, and I wanted to be the best in the world at it.
One thing that I think is interesting about this fight is that you and Jon have barely been around one another, you know, and it hasn't really felt like we've been able to build up any storylines between you two because you're just not around each other. Have you felt that at all? Like I would like to be around the guy maybe a little bit more.
No, I don't really care, but I have noticed that for whatever reason they have kept us separate. I'm not sure why that is, but they have kept us nowhere near each other, you know, and I just don't think that there is a storyline there. I don't think that for whatever reason, I just don't think that there's not gonna be any pushing and shoving and animosity, you know, because the media has tossed up softballs for me to knock out of the park and just crucify Jon Jones as a person, and I just haven't done that because I just don't care. It's just none of my business, and I've talked about that several times. I just want to beat him up. Like, this is really it. It's not personal, you know. I don't care about anything else but taking the title off of him. And I don't think Jon has anything to really attack me for. I don't think and unfortunately that sucks because there isn't a huge storyline of animosity and anger and whatever. I think that the whole buildup for this is really just people are definitely shocked that there's a guy who very, very clearly doesn't give a shit about Jon Jones.
Was there ever any part of you that was like, I don't know though, I mean, I was sure get a lot of media attention if I started hitting some of these softballs out of the park. Did you ever contemplate it?
Well, so when I say I'm not crucifying Jon Jones or I'm not knocking those out of the park, it doesn't mean that I don't have a thought about him. It doesn't mean that I don't have that my initial, snap reaction to the question is, whatever. It's just I don't want to consume myself with it. You know, I think that that's the mistake that Gustafsson and DC made, is they didn't make the main thing the main thing. And it's about fighting, and that's what this is about. This is about the title. And if I get myself wrapped up about who Jon is as a person and what he does in his personal life and his picograms and all that other stuff, I'm focused on what he does bad. And Jon Jones does a lot of things right. He does a lot of things right, and those are the things I want to focus on. So I just don't want to let myself get wrapped up into that. So it would be easy to do that, because everyone has an opinion on stuff. It doesn't matter who you are. You could ask a pastor how they feel about Jon Jones, and the things that he's done, and they're not gonna. They could have an initial thought of, there's some negative things there, but why waste your time? There's just no reason for it.
Because you haven't done any of that, and because you guys haven't really been around each other, is there still a little bit of mental games being played? Because as we all know, that's a big part of this sport. Have either one of you made an attempt in some way to mess with the other's head? Oh yeah.
I mean, the mental warfare is happening. And it's subtle, and I'm sure that most people don't notice it, but me and Jon know what's going on. It's he's trying to get over on me, and he's the big dog on campus. You know what I mean? He's the senior and I'm the freshman, and he's trying to make sure that that's known. but he's playing a game with himself. Like, I just don't care. I mean, you can be the big guy on campus. I don't care. I'm coming regardless. It doesn't matter. All the other stuff has no bearing on the fact that I'm coming across that cage Saturday night. And also, Jon doesn't say anything for no reason. Everything he says has a reason behind it. He's very, very smart. There's subtle signs and signals and trying to get me to think one way, and there's no reason for me to even worry about what he's saying, because whatever he says is not actually what he means. So there's no reason to pay attention to it.
So Jon Jones has really never lost a fight. He has that one loss on his record, but we all kind of know that wasn't a real loss. So when you have a guy who no one's really written a blueprint on, do you come in with a really strong game plan of this is how we're going to beat Jon Jones, or do you come in with principles and ideas of what it's going to take, but it's not really a game plan?
You know, I don't really fight with game plans anyways, because even if I tried, I wouldn't stick to it. We come in with, I would say, principles is probably a good way to explain it. You know, there's obviously things that Jon does really, really well, and those things needed to be addressed through the entire training camp. We came up with several ways to deal with each one of them. Some of them will work, some of them won't, and that's just how it goes. But I think I'm one of the best in the game at problem solving, and I figure things out on the fly. And once I find a hole, I'll drive a truck through it, and I've been doing that for a long time.
You beat Jon Jones. Is it the biggest upset in UFC history?
It depends on who you ask. I mean, to me, no. I think this is, to me, it's a foregone conclusion. I think that what's going to happen is going to happen. I'm going to leave with the title. But to the general public, for sure. So definitely the biggest upset.
Are you anticipating that you have to do it twice? You beat him, and because it's Jon Jones, you probably have to do it again maybe in the summer?
You know, when they first started asking that question, it was a quick yeah. But then the more you think about it, like, why? Why does he get an immediate rematch? Like, I don't see that. Why? You know, like, we've already set the precedent. Stipe Miocic didn't get one. Daniel Cormier didn't give him his immediate rematch. You know, he went on and did his thing and went to the next challenger. Like, I don't see why I can't do the same.
Really appreciate the time, man. Really looking forward to it on Saturday night. Thanks, Anthony.